team for life.
I don't know if you've seen this story break yet, Dom. I want you to watch this cold. Did you see the shooting in Jacksonville that just got released yesterday?
No.
Okay. Lewis, can you roll that body cam? I want nobody to understand. I want you to watch this first.
Out of context?
Out of context.
Okay.
This is what transpired. This is a 1 second. This is a body cam video, crashed vehicle that was pitted for being stolen.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Get your hands out of your fucking pants. I'm gonna fucking shoot you. Take your hands out of your fucking pants. Take your hands out of your pants. Turn on. Get on your back. All right, hey. Go for a handcuff.
Don't you fucking move. Don't you fucking move.
That's good. They immediately cuff and render aid. He runs back to his car, brings the car up. That's all you have. That is a 14-year-old unarmed black male.
Okay.
Video came out yesterday, so
the charges.
Get ready. So they were in a all you have right there is they were in a stolen vehicle.
Their knowledge right now.
They're no. You're gonna get to see their knowledge. But what I'm saying, what you guys are seeing is that is all that was a stolen vehicle. He was unarmed. There was no gun on him. The officer's running after him. He's reaching in his pants. That's downtown Jacksonville in the middle of the war zone.
Okay, so it's a good shoot either way.
Okay, it is. But now I want to.
MLK driving. He was black. I mean, what
It
more
looks. So I know Ben Crump's coming. This is going to be. They just released this. They waited. So here is this. This is what really was going on. This is the state attorney who accelerated the investigation and gave a statement yesterday as the video was released to prepare for what is going to be a disaster. Go ahead.
Conference today to discuss an officer-involved shooting that occurred on November 1st. Though the incident has not yet drawn media attention, we expect it may once the body-worn camera footage is released. Because this case involved an unarmed teenager and a very unusual sequence of events, our office has accelerated its investigation and legal review. In just 30 days, we completed a process that typically, as you all know, takes between 6 and 12 months. And because we anticipate community interest, we believe it's important to clearly explain to the public our office's role in officer-involved shooting investigations, as well as our legal conclusion. So our office's role in these matters is narrow but critical to determine whether a shooting officer's conduct was criminal or not. That's it. And so today I'll walk through the facts and the law that led us to conclude that this shooting officer's actions were not criminal and were in fact lawful. Around 6 p.m. on Saturday, November 1st, 4 teenagers in Northwest Jacksonville planned and carried out a theft of a DoorDash driver's car. They placed an order, distracted the driver when he arrived, separated him from his vehicle, and stole his black Kia Optima.
Pause it for 1 second there.
That auto theft.
So in and of itself, that sounds like a stolen, very minor. I mean, it wasn't a carjacking. It was just a.
It was
stolen
borderline.
vehicle.
I mean,
and if anybody, it's a property crime. So it sounds like, oh God, now a kid died over just jumping in a vehicle. But now listen to what they were dealing with all at once. And my point of this is, you call me liberal Mike, I'm done. Like this is not going on anywhere else but in these hood neighborhoods that these cops don't deserve to be dealing with this. So continue to go with all the calls that were going on at one time. Listen to this.
That auto theft set in motion a chain of events that ultimately led to one of those teenagers, a 14-year-old, being shot by a police officer after fleeing from a dangerous crash scene. A little over an hour before the shooting, a rapid series of 911 calls came in reporting 3 different felonies: an auto theft, a hit and run, and a drive-by shooting. These crimes occurred both close in time to one another, actually within minutes of each other, and close in distance, within 2 miles. And because of information reported, they appeared, in fact, to be related.
Okay, you're
Now,
good. You're good. So what happened was you had my point of this. You had a drive-by shooting, auto theft, and a hit and run, all felony, all criminal, and the suspect vehicle in all three was a black Kia.
Okay.
So these guys are chasing a black Kia with the knowledge that all those events had just occurred.
Yeah.
So they
Reasonable
to believe that the guy died at the drive-by. So it was a homicide.
Okay.
So what is going to be spun is this was just a stolen car and poor Johnny got killed. What really happened was those poor cops dealing with, imagine where else in America can you go, pick a neighborhood anywhere on earth, that those three crimes occur within 3 minutes of each other. You're actively responding in 1 minute to a drive-by homicide.
I will say Orlando, but Jacksonville handles it better.
Correct. But most people can't even imagine. Your suburban white people can't imagine that there's a drive-by, a grand theft auto, and a hit and run fatality within 3-4 blocks, mile of each other, 2 miles, she said, all at the same time with 911 going off at once. And these cops have to figure out everything. And the suspect vehicle in all three is a black Kia.
Now, was it the suspect?
That was not. That was just, they were not related to the shooting. But as the information was being disseminated in their heads, they were, when she said a sequence of wild events, they were connected. Okay. They thought the drive-by shooting and the theft were all related. And that's why
it was probably just another stolen Kia, dude. Come on.
Yeah. So I wanted Dom's opinion on that. Obviously, the video look, Ben Crump is probably already there. And I want Dom's opinion on this.
I'm sorry, what?
Go ahead. Do it.
I think that here's I will be, for those who are going to get pissed off over this, I think this is where the standard of hiring process is going to be really under suspect, because all of those things in himself, where you're giving all these cops now more leeway to use force under what if, right? And you're seeing it increase. So you have 2 unarmed guys were shot by Aurora, Colorado police in this last year. One was the that guy at the airport who that cop just, he wasn't even under threat, right? Then you had the older guy who the suspect had a gun, threw the gun away. The cop punches him in the back of the head, guy turns around, squares up, cop shoots him. You've got Mustang police, female cop shows up for a mental health subject in crisis. Taser doesn't work. Family members are saying he needs help. The guy had a pair of gloves in his hands. She shoots and kills him. Police chief says he could have escalated it. And that's where we're at right now. So I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. We talk all the time. We are lowering the threshold of police professionalism and increasing they're just human. They're just human. I get it. Adrenaline dump pursuits are the worst. Pursuits are the absolute. I've been in 5 pursuits. They are the adrenaline dump. You get out, your foot is on the face of the subject with your gun pointed at him, and you need one of your partners to go, dude, he's in cuffs. You don't put your gun away. I get the adrenaline dump, but you're looking at things where we're making excuses for cops. Look at this in that video alone. Is it, you guys are firearms aficionados, is it reasonable to state that you're really in danger? I know a lot of people are going to go, yeah, but what if a subject is running from you at full speed in low light conditions and they have a gun? What do you think the accuracy of them turning and shooting you downrange in low light conditions running are they going to hit you with a target?
It's probably
usually pretty good.
Really? Obviously, if you're on a range,
they can't hit each other. They can't hit each other in their own drive.
No, they seem to be able to hit the cops really good, though.
I've seen that too much. My whole point is this, and I get the defense on it, but here's the deal: is now you're asking for a level of professionalism to increase. Okay, yeah, you've got all this shit going on at once, but don't we want our cops to go, fuck? I got an adrenaline dump. There's 3 things going on at once. All of us got this. I'm going to take the chance and I'm going to shoot to cover my own behavior or my own ass. Or is it, hey, last time I checked, especially when it comes to deadly force, it's not the subject could have a gun. You have to stop and be able to say, I saw an object that looked like a gun. I saw an object that could be perceived as a gun. Just somebody running and reaching in their pants when you can't see shit. We have lowered that threshold because we have shitty cops to say, well, he could have produced a gun. And it's going to get worse. You're going to get cops who are going to show up on scene. They're going to go, hey, do you have your driver's license on you? No, I don't. And then because they can articulate, the guy looks scary, they can pump 15 rounds into the car. That's where we're going.
I agree slightly and disagree. Where I disagree is I think this is a cultural issue. And in these situations, I want you to find a neighborhood on the beach, suburban America, where these types of crimes are happening over and over. It seems to be happening in the same place. Of course. And now the ones you highlighted at the beginning are absolutely atrocious. And I put that on the location, lack of training, lack of ever dealing with real crime in their lives. In Jacksonville, I'm going to side with these guys on this one more because they're dealing with war and we're not seeing it every day. And I understand what you're saying as far as possibly could be armed, but I have a very liberal friend that lives in California and he sends me videos like this and says, or when cops get killed, he goes, why didn't the cops shoot him sooner? Well, because he's got to wait to see a gun. I don't always agree with that they have to wait to see a gun. I agree with what you said at the beginning about those incidents. They were absolutely unjustified, did not need to be shot. I side with the cop on this one because I don't think, based on just the call alone and the 3 calls happening and where they work and what they see every day, I don't have to wait for that dude to go over his shoulder with the miraculous round that seems to always find cops, hit me in the thumb, ricochet into my odor, and I die.
Oh, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying
I know you're not, but I'm saying overall, I agree with you.
Here's the biggest problem. The biggest problem is your argument, which is true. Well, now you just set something up that needs to be law. And I'm going to say it because nobody else is saying it. Blacks need to be policed differently than every other culture out there then. If it's a cultural problem,
I agree.
That means the laws need to change, and we need a different set of standards to 100% say, it needs to be testimony, and it needs to be standard. Your Honor, the subject was black. The subject was from this neighborhood. Pattern recognition says that it is a higher likelihood that blacks will resist. They will deploy firearms on us. I therefore can now increase my Graham v. Connor, my reasonable suspicion, my everything, you name it, and I can use force quicker because it has been proven historically, time after time, that blacks are X and the rest of the community is X, Y, and Z.
And I always, as I said last week, statistics don't lie. Statistics don't lie. And in this case, it'll be he's racist. He's not. I mean, if you think that dude jumped out of his car because that kid was black and shot him because he was black, that's insane. And it will be said. And if you watch the video further, it's on there, Jacksonville's website, YouTube. He runs back to his car frantically, speeds back to the scene, and they administer aid. They do everything they're supposed to do. I agree with you. Like I said in the beginning, in this case, with these circumstances, the statistics and the videos and thousands of videos we see, it is consistently young black males in high crime areas that are shooting cops, shooting their own people. Just last week, what do we have? A birthday party shot up and 10, 11, 12 people killed.
Do you think that the reason why policing is going the way it is, first off, much like how the car coming straight for you 10 years ago, you could dump 15 rounds into it, be justified. Now, I don't know if it's called case law, but essentially somebody somewhere said, you're not in fear for your life because you're standing in front of the car. Therefore, now you cannot shoot into a car. Do you think it will be the same thing?
The other problem with that is now you got a 2,000-pound or a 2-ton impact weapon that has no control of a driver, and it's going to be plowing into somebody else. So there's a lot of issues with that.
Well, do you think that they're going to use the same argument in the sense that when you chase someone on foot, you are now putting yourself in that danger?
They do that in Chicago. They don't allow foot chases anymore. Yeah, the reason they stopped doing in my state vehicle pursuit policies was that the fact is it is the officer triggering now the fight or flight in the driver. So if the driver goes off and crashes and kills a family of 5 because they were trying to flee or elude an arrest, well, it's the officer who had the overhead lights and sirens on. And that's what they're arguing in this. Again, you can make it fit that shooting. To be honest, there's nothing lawfully unjust about it if the cops had the rest of that information. If it was just as is, stolen vehicle, and they didn't have any knowledge of a firearm and he's just running and he shoots him from behind, well, dude, you can't.
I agree. No, I agree. That's why I set it up first with the video and then the statement from the attorney, because all those factors in. And even you, as much as you were not maybe against it, but pointed out, you made your point, can understand all those factors combined, change it a little bit versus just shooting an unarmed black guy in the back. The Ben Crumps and all that they will not address that. The family probably won't address that. They're just going to say he's a young black kid who got shot by a white cop because he's racist. And that is not what happened. And you're right about training. You're right about professionalism. All those things are right, but we have to hold these case by case. In this case, I believe that cop was 100% justified based on the information he had. He doesn't need to see a gun first or be shot if his intentions were in fact that. Now, if he made it up and the guy's not reaching, you'll never see it. You'll never see it because the body is too
the radio traffic. If they've got radio traffic from 3 different places, black vehicle is fleeing the scene and they've got all the information, that's fine. Over in the chat, you've got Aqua Pong saying, Dominic, you don't have to take in consideration whether the guy can shoot accurately. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is it's going to become that way. You're going to push all of these. I was in fear for my safety is the standard for cops that are going to be using force, deadly force, especially. Well, when you get, and I've talked about this several times, with the 30 by 30 agenda is going to change the landscape of use of force on people, including all the way up to this. If you have, if the 4 of us are capable, able men who are tactically trained, are of imposing figure and whatnot, and you'd reproduce that to have a department of 100 of us, well, that's the baseline, 100. And that means that reasonable articulation and objectively reasonable, as by Graham v. Connor, is associated across the board, that 75% of us agree that the Aurora, Colorado shootings, they're not justified at all. Unarmed subjects, cops should have been able to go hands-on. When you start to put in inferior police because their hiring process is insane, or 30 by 30, literally 30. If you make 30% of the police force women, well, now you just changed it to 100 men who are like us to 70. You are now opening the door, decreasing the average and lowering the threshold, where now you have a shift. Oh, it's our all female shift of 5 women on. Well, now all 5 women across that board, 100% objectively reasonable, say you can shoot someone like that. So you are lowering the threshold. What I'm saying is, yes, you can lawfully articulate it, but over time, the more you have cops just Indiana Jones, show right up, the swordsman right there, fuck it and shoot him, the more you are going to change it to where lawyers like Ben Crump will go, really, officer? We saw Mike Brown out of Chicago do a turn and shoot demonstration on a range day. And Mike is a former police officer, adjunct professor, and a firearms expert that trains hundreds of thousands of people every year. And he can't shoot a target like that. So you're going to say you were in reasonable apprehension of being shot? This is where I'm saying the lawyers will create these arguments.
And you're right. The argument can be created. I stand with what somebody said. You can't judge, though, the potential accuracy of a round.
No, that's because change to say you have
anything could happen. But I think where we differ is, I guess which is right. You're looking at it from the broad level. You're bringing the Aurora shootings in to this one. I agree that those ones are bad, and what that does, it gives you your platform to say police are acting wild, because they are. Those shootings are horrendous. And it takes away from Jacksonville guy, because he's actually doing things based on what he's really seeing and what he's feeling. And in Aurora, they're just shooting people, is what I think you're saying.
The only way to fix that is to say that you can police differently in different communities. And the next time you get some social justice or Ben Crump going out there going, blacks are targeted, you need police command to push back as hard as possible and say, all right, let's talk about the black community. They are out of control in our town. Our tactics are lawful, they're justified, and we're going to start using them harder. But command staff doesn't do that.
And maybe he will. I hope he does, because that was the point I was trying to drive forward. You can't just say they're all the same, because I hate to say this, but we've been talking about it. We've had a black male stab a woman on a train, a white woman. We've had a guy set a person on fire, and then I can't find, I'm sure they're out there, please send it to me. I don't see very many, if any, videos of 4 white males in a stolen Kia in the middle of the hood jumping out. I can't find it. I can't find a shooting at a Dairy Queen where there's 150 white people partying for a birthday and 3 juveniles end up dead, and there's a mass shooting with an AK-47. Now, do white people do the mass shootings at schools? Yes, it's primarily white males. Well, yeah, transgender as well, but primarily those. So when we as a white male, I can say white men tend to go into schools or try to assassinate presidents and all that stuff. Like it is. But will the police leaders go, hey, your neighborhood, the black neighborhood, is out of control with these type of crimes, and I expected the police to prepare to shoot somebody at a higher level than if it wasn't in the hood. That's what I'm getting.
I have a solution. I've had a solution for 20 years, and it's simply like in Chicago, we've got different neighborhoods. You've got, the ones that are far more violent. If we have Oak Park, Illinois, which is a suburb, and it borders Austin, and Austin is the furthest west neighborhood in Chicago before you get into the suburbs. And in Oak Park, you're talking rich white people. Average home is like $600,000-$700,000, and you go over one block, and it's a fucking war zone. I've said this for years. You need to take every fire, every EMS, everyone, and remove them out of those neighborhoods and put them in the neighborhoods where people are actually compliant and behaving and functioning well into society, and tell the black neighborhoods that are out of control, when you learn how to function properly in a society, you will get your taxpayer funded EMS, fire, and medical back. Until then, we're walling you off. It's going to be a quarantine zone. No one in or fucking out. You stay where you're at. And then when you learn how to function properly, you'll get your services back.
Yep, I agree.
Yes, you need to start. Here's the problem. The biggest problem is I could see it from legal point of view, all this shit. And it's the number one reason why, like Chicago PD, they take like these North Siders or whoever else, these white kids who go into the academy, and they're all amped up all the time. Right? We see videos like this nonstop on social media. The white kid has no contact with blacks ever in their career, and then all of a sudden they pump them into the shit neighborhoods of Chicago, and you're brainwashed to believe that every black is an animal in Chicago. If that's the case, then why are we setting the cops up for failure by interacting with a culture that can't interact back properly? You're setting the police. Stop it. You need to remove police services from these violent black communities, because the only ones who suffer are the cops, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. All right, Dom, we appreciate you coming on. I would like you to dive back into that one, if you don't mind. It's Jacksonville SO. They just released it yesterday on YouTube. The chief and the professional standards captains on there. They break it down, the whole thing. That was just a smidget. And then there's the state attorney from Jacksonville. Also, I think that's one that's right up your alley that you usually would dive into pretty good as far as how that went down.
Yeah. There you have it, gents.
Make sure you catch Dominic Izzo, Cop Talk Live, Fridays at 7.
Yeah, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 6 Mountain, and 5 Pacific.
Friday nights. Good times.
All right, cool, guys. And then
appreciate it, Dom.
Second Amendment is your God-given right. Don't arbitrarily just shoot a cop, because then you'll get the crybabies thinking I said so.
Thanks, Dom. Take care.
Later, man.